Let's see. The next show we're going to be talking about is Miss Kobayashi's Maid Dragon. Dragon Maid.
Dragon Maid.
Yes.
Now, I will say, the first episode, I was not hooked in this series. First episode, I was not feeling it. Second episode, then I was like, okay, now we're here. This is good. Because like the most I can say, and when I say I appreciate about this anime, it's like from the get-go, the dragon that she saved, who became her maid, knew absolutely nothing of the human culture, human world.
Yeah.
And it was bluntly obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And everything she had to teach her about the world, it became just grueling and just like, you're like, oh my God, why? Stop it. You know, and don't get me wrong, like it was humorous in the way that some of the things were crafted and treated and how it was done. But it was also one of those just really annoying. I appreciate by the second episode, a lot of her, I don't know how to do this, started to disappear. Now she's actually learning. Now she's actually knows. And I especially liked the introduction of more than just her. Because then you got the second dragon. And I like the fact that I was almost disappointed that they talk about Fenrir and Quetzalcoatl, and because she talks to him on the phone. And I'm thinking, is that all they're going to be? Is just her little phone advice or whatever? I mean, it was a nice gag, don't get me wrong. I appreciated that. But the fact that then later on you actually meet them, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That was nice. Now we actually see them. They have their own personalities. They have their own, style and everything. That is awesome. I appreciate that. So, and then now it's like she's actually getting more of like a backstory and more info into her, and that is also something I appreciate. So, if anyone else watches this, like first episode, take it with a grain of salt. Second episode, that's when you should really be feeling it. If you don't feel it about the second episode on this one, maybe it's not for you. But it's got a lot to it. I think this one has a lot of potential to it. And and the fact that it became like Dragon Maid, and I'm like, okay, is this all we're doing here? Is just like the maid and social interactions? But then, I don't know how far you've gotten on this one. Are you current on this one?
Up to in.
Okay. Did you see it when they went to go quote unquote play? Yeah. Okay. That to me, I was like, oh, please give me more of that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome. And I see her reaction to it, and she's all worried that they're like fighting with each other. And I'm like, no, they're just playing. That is awesome.
She's like laying down in the field. It's like earth-shattering explosions, literally. They're all like, I'm like,
They never even went to their dragon form. They just stayed in human form and did all of that. And I'm like, that is cool.
And it's
I had flashbacks from like Bleach and everything when she did like that whole like mouth blast and everything. I'm like, yes.
I had flashbacks from Naruto when he like goes berserk in like the QB form. I'm like, as soon as I saw that like the detail dropped and like it had that like mouth with like the glowing orb in it, I was like, oh, they're gonna kill her.
But it was awesome.
And
it was freaking amazing.
And she's like, no, don't play around like dragons. Play around like normal people. And then they're like, okay. And she's like, oh, my back. I'm so tired.
Okay, and the same thing, like we were saying before, like with Gabriel Dropout, how this one was like slice of life, and you just see like little snippets. Like, this is life, this is what happens. These are like the little interactions, little things that end up happening or whatever. Because it's almost like not in order where it's just kind of, or it is kind of in order, but like they'll cut just like a part of it and be like, okay, this is what we're showing you. Then we're going to move over to here, and this is what we're going to show you. And then we're going to move over here, and this is what we're going to, It's the same thing I kind of think with this. They cut a lot of like the in-between out, and where they don't think there's going to be a lot of interactions going on, and they focus like on the little bite-sized pieces But unlike with like, because I've always told you I hate those little short animes that only give you like the little. There's enough bite-sized pieces strung together that it feels cohesive and nice. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate that. Okay. And again, I'm sure you're about to talk about this too. The characters. Love the characters. Love the characters. Miss Kobayashi, great character. Her friend, who they talk about Maids with.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking hilarious. I love that. I love those two characters. The mashup between the two of them when she gets drunk and then it starts going on like Maid, talking or whatever. I'm like, oh my God. And then that really kind of gets you to know why she told the dragon to be a maid. Is like, oh, okay, I see where this went. Because she was drunk and she's like, you need to come to my house to be a maid. And then like even like her the other dragon that ends up showing up, the little girl, absolutely adorable. Freaking love her. I think that's just an amazing combination there. And then, like I said, even her two other friends, Fenrir and Quizzicola, that come over, they have great characterization too. I freaking laughed like crazy when I saw them stop by the very first time. Mm-hmm. It was just hilarious because like Fenrir comes to the door first and he's still in his beast animal type form, and the other two, the guy, I really appreciate the female character, the guy friend that she has, the fact that he's accepting of everything. Yeah, like he just rolls with it, he just goes with it, he's like, all right, this is probably gonna happen, sure, why not. But like the reaction of them too when they see Fenrir sitting out there like all beast and everything, and then like she closes the door real quick and looks and they're like white faced at everything. So like, oh, that was scary. Like I appreciate that, and like all their interactions and all their reactions are all believable, and they're all like very much. I'm on board with it. So like this one, I am definitely on board with it. Like it took me 2 episodes, but once I hit that, I was like, all right, this is happening. This is awesome. And to say above all else, I know I've said it before in other things we've talked about with dragons and everything. I like the fact that here is an anime with dragons, and they're not the bad guy. That's awesome. That doesn't happen very much in media, and I appreciate them taking that form with this. So that's my tip.
So I am definitely a fan of cute shows that are cute girls doing cute things, and this is that 100%. Especially with the character that was introduced in the second episode. Yeah, man, there's so many like extreme things that happen to where it's like, if this was like a battle anime, it would be like the best episodes of like Naruto or like the best episodes of Bleach, and like they would compare as far as like how good quality action that they can do in this show.
Who's this done by the way?
I don't remember.
I'll look it up. You keep going. I'll look it up.
Okay. Yeah. So, like me, I love like when animation switches to like where they concentrate more on movement and the flow of the scene rather than detail. Like I notice when like the detail drops and you're like, uh-oh, something's about to happen. And like there's a lot of moments where like they were walking through through that little shopping district, and like somebody stole a purse. Yeah. She's like, oh, can I get him? I'm like, can I get him? And then she's like, yes, but tone it down. And she's like, don't. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
These moments always catch me off guard, and I always love the outcomes of them. So,
that could go a lot of different ways, and I'm happy it went the way it did. I'm happy that one went the way it did.
Yeah, and then especially like you mentioned with the where they started like roughhousing, I guess is what you could call it, and like almost destroying the land that they landed on. Oh, and like when they first went there, she's like, let's just go out somewhere. And they're like, oh, okay. And then she was just flying and landed. And it's like, where are we? He's like, I don't know. It just looked good down there. So
Yeah.
they could be like on the other side of the planet. It's like so crazy. All these over the top moments that happen. And then like when she was washing her clothes and she's like, they're not drying fast enough. And she's like, oh, I know.
Transforms into a dragon.
Yeah,
Knocks all
like,
the clouds out of the way.
blast the sky. It's like the main girl can like see it from where she's like looking, and all of a sudden you hear whoosh, and then she's like, oh god.
Okay. I see, and I like the fact she doesn't get angry. She's just like, oh god. Just like she's accepting of it. She's like, it's just gonna happen. This is the way it's gonna be.
I invited her to my house, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I can't really say anything. Okay, so just to clarify, the animation studio for this is Kyoto Animation, which now makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Why that battle scene looked as good as it did. Because they have done some battles and action animes before and done really well. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I will say I don't know, it can be done wrong, and I think the way they have their the love scene kind of thing, because like there's a love interest going on there. The way she acts and the way she does it. She was licking the dirt off of her clothes, and the way she was acting with that.
Yeah.
Okay. They could go too far. I think they did that just fine.
Yeah.
I think they did that just fine. They could go too far, but they stopped it. They didn't go too far with it. They did it just enough to where you're like, all right, yeah, it's funny. It doesn't go too far, and I think that's I appreciate that.
Yeah, especially because she keeps mentioning she's like, I'm attracted to you sexually, and like that's as far as it's gone so far. So I'm like, yeah, okay. But
see, like, and she'll do these little things. Like, again, she licks her unmentioned. She's like, okay. So she's like, well, how do you do the laundry? And then she like does all these steps, and she's like, and then I make sure to consume your unmentionables and wash them in my mouth. And she's like, oh god, no. You're just like, yeah, that happened.
Yeah. There's 2 anime that came out this season where like a room got incinerated, and I can't remember how this one did it. Where it's like, oh, I can clean, and she's like, just incinerates everything. Oh, and then she brings it back with magic.
Yeah.
There was another show that did a similar thing, and I don't know what it is about this season, like blowing up rooms, but it's funny that like more than one anime did something.
Yeah.
Like that. So the guy with the swirly horn, that's a guy from the picture, the Finn something.
No, that's a different guy.
Okay, so they met the person that she's been talking on the phone, and it's not before dragons, I guess.
No. They're all dragons as far as I know.
Okay.
They're all dragon characters. Like the one on the upper right, that's Quetzalcoatl.
Okay.
And then the other one is obviously the little girl that you've already seen. I haven't seen that other dude yet.
Okay.
Because Fenrir is an older guy.
Okay. Yeah, he's the guy where she was like, oh, let me ask what's his name how to do it. And he's like, kill.
Yeah. And that's why I said, like, he has like this intimidating look and just aura about him. You're just like, oh my god. And at one point when they had like a little party, I think they tried to play games. And it was a video game, and one of the other guys was playing, the actual human guy. And then he looks at Fenrir and goes, you want to play? And Fenrir does it, and he's getting like more and more pissed off as he's playing it, because he's like keeps dying, stuff keeps happening. But then it's funny because Quetzalcoatl looks over at him and goes, oh, he's having fun. I mean, he's like, he's not like destroying anything, he's just like getting really intense. Like those moments you're just like sitting there going more and more intense as you're trying to do things and they keep failing or something. Like, it's more relatable, so I'm like, okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, so this one was surprisingly great. Of course, people don't find out about that until it's freaking huge. They're like, dragon, kill it. And it just gets bigger. And they're like, oh, that's weird. So, and then other people come across and they're like, dragon. And I'm like, stop shooting, man. God. The spirit leaves his body and he's all like, what's happening? And then that same guy shows up at the hospital. I'm like, did he see him in the news? Did the news say that this person is being held at this hospital? That's a little bit too much information. How does the guy know that he's here? Can he like sense these spirits or something? Which is me explaining, like coming up with the explanation that the show should be telling me.